Hi, this is John Rumsey. This is a film of sailing aboard the Holiday II, a Cal 40, sailing in the Los Angeles to Honolulu race in 1967. The other boat seen here is the Sirius, schooner Sirius. This is a Cal 40. There were 67 boats in the race, various sizes. And this is the start off San Pedro, where the race starts every other year. Some of the other boats in the race were the Tabasco and the Orient and the Kialoa II. Very light wind that morning at the start. We sailed out, I have to sail around the west end of Catalina, and then you can set sail, reaching to head out to the west to catch the trade winds another 100 miles offshore at about that time. This particular start was a very light air start, and people were trying different sails to get maximum speed to get past Catalina. This is the Cal 40 Holiday II, sailing with a double head rig, and this was the late in the afternoon on the day of the start. We have passed Catalina, and now we are tacking in a westerly direction to reach the trade winds. That's Ann Morrison, the chef on the boat. Skip Allan, the skipper, son of the owner. Scott Allan, the brother of Skip Allan, also president, a sailmaker in Annapolis, Maryland. As we went across and got into the trade winds, we settled down into a really good program, taking occasional rest. That's the cook getting ready for the evening meal. Scott Allan, very, very good dinghy sailor. Went to the Naval Academy and lived in until the present in Annapolis, Maryland. The wind is filling in, and we're getting into the 10 knot range. And it's a broad headsail reach with a double head rig. Sailing out, when you reach the trade winds, the winds go more northwesterly, and you're able to set the spinnaker and run the rest of the way to Honolulu. Our navigator was Jake Van Herkeren, who did a very good job. Yeah. And that's Swede Johnson, who's a sailmaker for Baxter and Cicero Sailmakers in Newport Beach, helping Jake Van Herkeren with the navigation. In those days, you had to use sextants and sunsight. This was before GPS and all electronic navigations. Every day we got information from the Coast Guard with the wind information down the course towards Honolulu. After about 2 days, the wind came aft, and we set the spinnaker and carried one of the 4 spinnakers all the way to the finish line at Diamond Head. Trying to get the motion, the spirit of the motion going here, looking over the bows as the boat plowed along. Californias were new in the mid 60s, and they became very popular, easy to sail. They were the first production boats with a spade rudder and a fin keel. When you're in the trade winds, the wind fills in pretty steadily, and you have winds between 15 and 20 knots mostly. Occasionally at night you get squalls where the wind can be raining a little bit, and wind can get up to 30 to 35 knots for short periods. Along pretty good there. Boat was very easy to sail, although after we got to Honolulu, using a tiller to steer the boat, it felt like you had rowed across the ocean. Some of the various equipment on board the boat, variant winches. The speedometer showing 9 to 10 knots. After a couple of days, you lose sight of most of the other boats. Very seldom do you see another boat on the horizon. So you just have to track along, and every morning they have a roll call, and everybody gives their position, which is sometimes just DR position. If it was cloudy weather, they might not have gotten any sights. The spinnaker we used most of the way, it's a 1.5 ounce nylon spinnaker. That rainbow is coming from a squall, which is up ahead, that had already bypassed us. Looks like this speedo was pinned out there. That was our wind god. You have to figure out all kind of things to keep your mind going when you're out there hour after hour. You're taking the staysail down, preparing for a jibe. And the chef, she met Skip Allan at Stanford, and Skip had just graduated from Stanford, and his dad provided his boat for a graduation present to sail in the Transpac race. Here I'm going aloft to check the wear and tear on the halyard fittings and everything at the various points up the mast. Swede Johnson taking a bucket bath. And the masthead fittings. California is a very easy boat to sail. It steers easily, and in a running position, going downwind of the waves and everything, you can steer it around and catch waves sort of like a surfboard, as in some conditions. Actually, you go along day and night like that. Staring down the waves. At night you have it gets pretty dark, but you have the instruments. You follow the compass and the wind guide to keep your angle to the wind correct. And 4-hour watches. The course from Los Angeles to Honolulu, it's about, on a Great Circle course, it's 2,300 miles. And you actually end up sailing a couple hundred more miles, tacking downwind, chasing the various wind pressure zones and so on. It was zipping right along there. evening sun, and then the eyes. On the fast sailboats now, they have a crew tending the trim on the spinnaker all the time because the boats accelerate so fast that you may change the apparent wind angles a lot just on the same course. But the boat just accelerates, they accelerate so fast. Looks like we're all having a good time there. A bucket bath. It looks cold. Jake Van Herkeren listening to the morning report, getting the wind information from the Coast Guard. And planning the next evening's dinner, or perhaps her log. Bucket baths were required on this race. Looks dark ahead. Makes me seasick. This is about halfway down to Honolulu. The weather is warming up. The trade wind air is about 77 or 8 degrees. Very comfortable sailing. Actually, we did go pretty fast for a 40-foot boat. That was. Heading onto a plane on some of the waves. Getting boat speeds of 10 to 12 knots. I forgot we'd taken so many pictures. Geez, this goes on and on. We must be getting close to Hawaii. We can hear the Hawaiian music on the radio now. That's Swede Johnson playing his guitar. We use what was known as the Swedish watch system, which is 4 hours on, 4 hours off, 4 hours on at night, and 12 hours off, and 12 hours on, 6 hours on and 6 hours off during the day. And it allows you to get, every other night you get theoretically 8 hours of sleep, although the sleeping is not always that good with the rolling around. Delicious meal served by our chef. She learned cooking at Stanford University. That's why it was so good. Here the breeze is in a little bit, so we're probably getting about 25 knots of wind going, and the boat is sailing very easily, sliding down the waves, averaging 9 to 10 knots. Here's a picture of the Holiday 2 crossing the finish line at Diamond Head, winning the overall trophy and winning her class, which was a number of Cal 40s as well as other boats about that size. There's a shot of the Aloha Yacht Basin with the various boats that finish. They put them in line as they finish. And each boat has a party thrown for it, no matter what time of day or night. A number of champagne bottles there seemed like they had a good party that night. They finished a little later because they broke their mast on the way, and they sailed that, re-rigged the mast, part of the mast with the boom, and sailed with a shortened spinnaker the rest of the way. Various larger boats tied up at the Alawai. Big sloop called the Orient from San Francisco, the Holiday 2. Come the larger boats, Kamalihi from San Francisco. Kiloa 2, Serena, a large schooner, and Stormvogel. Stormvogel was first to finish. Stormvogel was owned by a German lumberman, and he had invited Bob Johnson to sail with him in this race. That's the end. Aloha. See you next time.